Hi, David Silverman here, and this is a commentary for 1F15, Bart Gets an Elephant, Animatic.
I'm Paul Wee. I'm character layout artist.
I'm Wes Archer. I was a director, not on this episode.
I'm Lance Wilder, background design supervisor.
I'm Matt Groening, and I used to hang around a lot.
And you still do.
I still do.
So, Paul, you want to talk about the process of a layout artist and his job or her job?
Well, yeah, basically a character layout artist is the actor of the scene. You know, you have to generate the scene itself, and well, you got to take all the elements. You got to take the backgrounds, props, characters, camera angles, and acting. You got to put it all together. And basically, you have to be a jack of all trades. You have to be a master of a number of disciplines like draftsmanship, composition, acting, and key posing, all of that stuff.
Lance, we're talking a little bit about the background design.
Sure. The basic process is basically still the same today as it was back in the beginning through the first 5 seasons, but certainly it's gotten more involved. You know, from early on, Matt had talked about observational details, putting in trash in cars parked, and we pushed more of a correct perspective and composition, and we basically rough everything out and show the directors and fax it to Matt, and we either get an okay or some notes, and do the notes in the cleanup process, putting it on model, nice and clean final drawings, and roll on to the next set of stuff.
This, by the way, is a scene that, Paul, you, I think, animated this scene.
Yeah, I like to, we get a voice track to key our performances off of, and that, was particularly dramatic, so I really posed it out, and you plan it in little thumbnail sketches, and then you just go to town. What you want to do is you want to hit the key poses and the key moments to get the drama across.
Now we have the Springfield tar pits based on the La Brea tar pits, right? So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. At this point, we'd done about 80, 81 episodes up until this 5th season, and it's funny because when we started in 2nd season, there were really just a handful of key locations: Simpson and Flanders House, the Quickie Mart, the church, the school, and the power plant. It was about this point, 5th season, as we were approaching, 90, 100 episodes, that the writers really started pushing the Springfield city limits and incorporating many things from even around the country, like you mentioned here, the La Brea tar pits, or, the animal refuge we'll see toward the end of the episode, and even things like when I first did the Springfield Town Hall, I just kind of did a library in my town back in Massachusetts, and then they came up with the idea to add, the Dome of Monticello, this all-American feel. So, it was just incorporating. Springfield started becoming everywhere USA. We had deserts and forests and mountains and lakes, and there was always something there that I think people from around the country could identify with.
So what was the town in Massachusetts?
I'm actually from Chelmsford, where background designer John Krause is also from, and of course my wife, Maria Mariotti Wilder, is from New England, so we kind of brought that feel to it.
So like 13 people are really excited right now?
Yeah.
Very excited.
No, there's at least 100 people. But
we stand corrected.
No, but there was a lot of, it's very similar to Oregon where you're from, but a lot of California references, of course, because this is where we do the show.
At this point, both Lance, you and Paul started in the 2nd season, and thankfully you're still with us. So, Paul, you want to comment a little bit about that?
Well, yeah, I've been on it for 15 years at this point that I'm commenting on it, and it's still to me one of the greatest shows on TV. I've stuck with it for this long because I really hadn't seen anything that's half as compelling as this. Feature or any other place, really. And I was proud to stay on it, so that's why I'm still doing it.
During the whole rise and almost the fall of traditionally animated features, at least for the time being.
I'm a strong believer in the craft of handmade art. It's kind of getting lost nowadays. That's why people ask, is that done on computer? The first thing they find out when you're on The Simpsons. I like the fact that Simpsons still do the hand-drawn layouts like this in America, because it gives you a lot of control over the jokes. You have a lot more fun with it, and it's it's something of a rarity nowadays, but I think it's necessary.
Well, the last show is being done, or the layout is done here in the States.
What I like about traditional animation is you can really see imperfection. It's heart and soul, but also the imperfection of the art as opposed to the perfection of a completely computerized camera move, you know?
Yeah, the human touch.
Yeah.
Too sterile the other way, right?
Yeah,
It
if you're
adds
not
life
careful.
to have a imperfection. It really adds life to it.